the next draft I have is the top 5 superhero movies.
Okay. I went first on the last one, so you can go first on this one.
Yeah, now I'm gonna try my best not to rinse and repeat
Mm-hmm.
other like picks from like other categories.
Yep.
I'm trying my best not to, and this will be it. So like I would pick Across the Spider-Verse, but to make the list more fun, I'm gonna pick the 2022 The Batman.
Ooh. Okay. That's a good pick. Um, I'm gonna go with my first pick across the spectrum. I'm just joking. I'm gonna go with my first pick is actually going to be Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man 2,
That yeah, that's
the
nice.
classic,
Yeah,
the classic.
yeah. I mean, let's see. I am going to pick Avengers: Infinity War.
Ooh, okay. Well, then I don't feel bad for going Avengers Endgame. End of a dynasty.
But
You could
Endgame,
really say
I
it
would argue
really.
Endgame is really not even that good.
I mean, I personally like it for what it is. I don't think it's
But
as good as Infinity War, but however, it does have an ending. Infinity War doesn't. So you can't watch Infinity War without going back and watching Endgame. You can't watch them like I could watch Endgame without watching Infinity War, but I'm not gonna watch
I
Infinity
I
War
would
without
say
watching Endgame.
Infinity War is much more replay value for me than Endgame. And like I
Um,
can easily watch Infinity War and be like, yeah, I don't need to watch Endgame because I know what happens.
that's crazy. I don't know. That's crazy. I like the fights too in Endgame better than in Infinity War. Yep.
No,
The
Thor
three,
showing up to Wakanda,
bro, Thor, Captain
Thor's
America,
ass in
in
Endgame.
what? That's crazy.
He's
That's crazy talk.
fat,
I, bro,
bro.
the fat shaming is
No, he
crazy
does
right
nothing.
now.
He gets
Bro,
nerfed,
he double fists the axe and Mjolnir, plus
bro.
Captain America using Mjolnir for the first time, plus the iconic scene of Captain America standing up against the horde of enemies, and then all the superheroes come through the portals. Cinema, fucking Iron Man putting up the Infinity Stones, going, "I am Iron Man." Cinema, like
It yeah, those are great.
great moments, great fight.
But
I
you
prefer
also
the
have two
fight,
hours of just straight like time travel
bro.
shenanigans.
That's build up. Let's build up,
I don't.
bro.
It's
I
it.
love it. I prefer because it also like that's the end of a generation really. Like you could just stop watching Marvel movies after that and you could be fine. Um but yeah, for me like I love the fight against them against Thanos. I love those fights where it's like, three super powerful people need to team up to take down the most powerful person. So I love that sort of dynamic when they're all fighting Thanos. Very similar to when they're fighting him in Infinity War, but I just prefer it in this movie because he's using less of the Infinity Stones and he's just straight up boxing them and still beating the shit out of them, which I thought was just gas. Um, yeah, and like everybody gets a little bit to shine. You get your Spider-Man scene, you get your Ant-Man scene when he fucking just tanks one of their spaceships.
Yeah,
And I'm not the biggest fan of Captain Marvel, but even like her scene is pretty sweet when she like fucking busts through the blockade in space.
but I guess we shouldn't really argue what's better between Infinity War and
True, that's not
Endgame.
really what the video is about.
It's not, but I just for the sake of it, do you think Endgame's better than Infinity War? I don't think it's close. I really don't think it's close at all.
I think. Mm, I don't know. I'd really have to think about it. I don't know. I'd have to get back to you on that.
Yeah.
I can see merits on both. Like I really like that Endgame has an ending. Story's only as good as its ending. So I don't really necessarily like two-parter movies. Like when the third movie for the Spider Verse comes out, I think I'll enjoy the third movie compared to the second movie a lot more.
So not that like so as far as like Lord of the Rings goes,
Hmm.
are you Return of the King then?
Um, I mean, those are like completed like stories because those are like based around the books. This is like the story didn't even end in my in my
Oh, okay,
in my
I
opinion.
see.
Like because each Lord of the Rings, we're getting very off topic, but they each have a story arc that they wrap up, and so like you're like, oh okay, nice little story arc, like a nice circle can be drawn around that. I feel like, in my opinion at least, Infinity War doesn't have an ending. It's just like a part one.
Well, I think you could argue that the ending is that they just lose.
Yeah, I mean
Yeah,
you
yeah.
could. I just I don't see it that way. I guess.
Like, did we just lose? All right. So it is my pick.
Yep.
Tangent aside,
True.
I'm debating between two.
Yeah.
Uh, I'm just gonna go based on in the theater when I saw this movie. It was such a crazy moment just for everything.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you were to sit here and tell me it's better than most of these like movies on here, I'd be like, probably not. I won't lie. But just sheer like theater experience and just like the culture it had like around like the
Mm-hmm.
world when it happened, I'm taking Spider-Man No Way Home.
Okay, that's fair.
Like I
It's a lot of
like
good like fan service in that movie.
yeah, no, for sure. Like and I know what it is. I know that it's not gonna be like the greatest movie, but
No, I
I
get
just
it.
had to pick just straight up just the theater experience is one of like
Yeah,
the best ones that I've seen.
that's fair. I am gonna go in a similar direction with my third pick. Not the greatest movie. I don't know if it's better than any of these movies that are gonna be on my list, but I just want to pick it up now. Stay in the same sort of area. I'm gonna go with Deadpool 3.
Really? Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like I think like Deadpool 3 like is a cinema experience, like seeing all the cameos and seeing all the things for the first time. I think that probably Deadpool 2 is the stronger film. Don't pick Deadpool 2. But
Yeah.
uh just for like you said like the cinema experience, I'm going to go Deadpool 3.
Yeah. No, you're welcome. I'm influential. But
Oh, it was already on my list.
uh at my number fourth pick,
Yep.
I gotta pick when I would decide like this movie, this is when I was super into Marvel and like I have like the Spider-Man comics right here. I was super into Spider-Man and I would do anything I could just like to see anything remotely close to Spider-Man.
Yep. He's picking Madam Web.
No, no, hell no. But once I saw that Tom Holland was gonna be Spider-Man, I
Yep.
literally saw like a Moby Dick movie just to see how good he would be as Spider-Man.
Okay. It's fair.
Then once I heard that there was rumors that he was gonna be in a Captain America movie,
Yeah.
and that Captain America movie is gonna be Civil War, one of my favorite arcs is
Mm-hmm.
in like Marvel.
Yep.
I was hooked. I literally did anything I could as far as like I got the movie. So much of the movie was spoiled for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like even the Giant Man spoiler was
Oh.
spoiled to me through a Lego set.
Oh, yeah.
I was
That's
like,
tough.
that's how deep I was into
Yeah.
this movie to get Spider-Man knowledge.
Yeah.
So number four for me is gonna be Captain America: Civil War,
No,
and
that
this
is a great Marvel film. It really is.
the only thing I would say that hinders this movie as someone that needs like tension for to elevate like films
Mm-hmm.
and that make our characters feel like they're in danger, they really pulled a lot of punches. They should have killed someone in this movie to like make the Civil War like obviously it was pretty much the death of the Avengers,
Mm-hmm.
but someone dying could have like opened up a lot of characters. I've literally held this opinion since I was like in eighth grade. But enough about Civil War.
Uh, no, that's fair. I totally get that. That is a very good pick. I'm gonna go. Um, again, a story is only as good as its ending, and it's to be seen whether or not they make more of these films. But I think if they stop, it'll be a very strong finale to a very strong trilogy. I'm gonna go with Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Really good movie, like a lot of great memes, and like I said,
What are
like
we doing out here, bro? Bro's picking memes.
I mean, hey man, that's just part of the experience, and it's really just a great cap off for that team. Like I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed how they handled Gamora and Peter. Like they didn't just be like, oh, she like got like new memory somehow. Because like I feel like a lot of like TV shows and movies or some shit will do that sort of thing where it's like they'll like be the same person even though they're not at all. So I enjoy it in this film. They went out of the way to be like, this is not the same person. Like
Yeah.
this is a different person. So I commend them on that. And just it was a great like Rocket Raccoon movie too. Like Rocket
Oh,
Raccoon,
for
like
sure. The backstory.
yeah, like
Help inspire Derek.
yeah,
Yeah.
fair enough. That's a little D&D knowledge for you
Yeah.
listeners.
If you know, you know.
Yeah.
And if you don't, you don't.
Yeah. So but yeah, that's gonna be my fourth pick. Very solid.
To cap it off, I need more so of this. You talk about great endings.
Yep.
And Deadpool 3 might it keeps this ending the right way, but
Yep.
I'm gonna go with Logan. I love
Okay.
this
Yeah.
dystopian type of western type of vibe where it like it's a in the future and like everything is just not where it's supposed to be for our boy Logan, and just the world is so cool. Like the bounties are cool. Like
Mm-hmm.
him fighting old age and like his healing factor being a little bit slower. It's incredible, and like I just I've only watched this movie a couple times, I won't lie, but it's just one of those movies that you really just need to watch once and it just stays with you.
Yeah, that's fair. Very strong movie. I don't think I've seen it more than the one time, but it is like a very solid, and I know why a lot of people love it. So for my final pick, I've been picking a lot of endings, but this is a rare case where I'm gonna go with, you know, I guess the middle movie other than Spider-Man 2. I'm gonna go with The Dark Knight Rises. Arguably the best Batman film. I don't know. Like, it's
So
tough.
wait, you said The Dark Knight Rises is the last one with Bane.
I thought that was The Dark Knight Returns.
Oh no, you're so right. Oh my lord.
This guy doesn't know ball. Like, don't
No,
mind him,
yeah,
folks. But The
yes.
Dark Knight Rises, like Heath Ledger's portrayal of Joker, so good. Like the drama in that movie, so good. Like like you said before, like how you need stakes. Like it felt like there were stakes that whole time watching that movie. And like, oh, I just remember seeing it for the first time as a little kid. I was like, oh my fucking god, this is awesome. And like that scene where Joker is like hanging upside down from the building and he's
Yeah.
like, I think we're destined to do this forever. Ooh, chills every time. I love that movie. That movie probably my favorite Batman film. Um but yeah, that's my and it's just a classic.
I ain't gonna lie. So I feel it on the horizon just because we could have a whole video debating between Dark Knight and the
Mm-hmm.
Batman 2022.
No, it's yeah, I agree. Like just like the Dark Knight Rises or the whole trilogy.
Well, just the Dark Knight Rises.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
No, yeah, it like they both are like super strong Batman films in just very different ways. Like, but yeah, that could be a separate video, honestly.
No, that's why I was kind of pitching.
Yeah.
So for my draft for best superhero or top 5 superhero movies, barring like any like not repeating, because
Yep.
I'm sure
Right.
what Across or Into,
I did have Spider Verse on my list, but
yeah,
I didn't repeat it. So.
yeah. So I probably would have had if I was able to stack them both in mind.
Mm-hmm.
But for mine, I have the Batman at 1,
Yeah.
Infinity War in my second round, Spider-Man No Way Home at 3, Captain America Civil War at 4, and Logan number 5.
Yep. For mine, I went Spider Man 2 with Tobey Maguire. I went Endgame. I went Deadpool 3. Then we went Guardians of the Galaxy 3, and then we went The Dark Knight Rises. So very strong lists, I think, overall.